Hi, and welcome to this webinar from MBL on the Motor Insurers Bureau and Uninsured Agreement Exclusions. My name's Nikki Carter, and I'll take you through the plan, really, of us examining what we need to know from some of the exclusions in the new agreement. I'm calling it the new agreement. It's the latest one. It's 2015. There are some changes if you haven't used it for a while. And I think we need also to look at a bit of recent case law to kind of get a feel as to how the courts are dealing with some of those exclusions. You can see PI lawyer me for a long time. Let's leave it at that, I think. And largely claimant, but obviously we're examining this from the point of view of dealing with the MIB. So we'll try and look at things from both sides, as it were. Can I just begin by going through with you the outline? So what are we actually going to talk about? So the first idea was to look at those exclusion clauses. Who's excluded? What is actually excluded now? So what are the areas we need to look out for? There's a controversial area that we're going to have to tackle, and that's the situation of property damage claims where the driver is uninsured. That's caused a huge amount of controversy, that exclusion clause being removed. I'll say much more when we get to it, but we need to sort of keep an eye on what's going on in the press, what's going on in comment about it, because it's a quite unpopular in some quarters provision. I will say much more when we get there. We'll look, of course, at the big one for those who are passengers, and that's knowledge of lack of insurance. It's been running for decades, this one. When you know as the passenger, and I'll use the exact terms when we get to that section, because we've got a slight change in wording in the 2015 uninsured agreement. When that passenger has knowledge of the uninsured status of the person driving, where does that leave them when it comes to a claim to the MIB under the uninsured drivers agreement? Is it an exclusion? And what do we mean when we say somebody knows the driver was uninsured? So really important to kind of have a word about that and sort out what that really means. We have some cases to look at. One of them I've mentioned in the outline. The case is Colley and the Motor Insurers Bureau from 2022. Went to the Court of Appeal. And I've kind of coupled it, as you can see in my outline, with a mention of the Motor Vehicles Compulsory Insurance Act of 2022, the same year. We need to talk about both in the same breath, because it's important that we recognise what's changed since the Motor Vehicles Compulsory Insurance Act, particularly in relation to the facts, the principles, if you like, that were outlined in Colley. So that's kind of what we're going to look at, the areas we're going to look at.